Hello, my name is Klaus Duebbert. I'm a blacksmith. We are now here at the Europa Mountains Cultural Center blacksmith shop, a teaching facility. And today we will be making a knife out of pattern-welded steel. We're using all old-fashioned tools and techniques and keep it simple. What you see now is our forge. This is a replica old-fashioned forge like it has been used for many centuries. Built out of stones. We're firing coal and using a hand crank blower to provide the blast. This is my assistant Marvin and my apprentice Justin. Those two gentlemen were helping me today with doing the demonstration. This is the tools we will be using today. Hammers, a variety of tongs, cutters and rasps, and of course safety glasses. When we do the forge welding, safety glasses are very important to protect your eyes. Keep in mind, keep it safe, don't burn yourself, use eye protection at all times, use common sense. Now we will start assembling the billets. Here's our material. We're using two different materials, high carbon steel and low carbon steel, and assembling in alternating layers. And make sure that always the low carbon steel is on the outside. Alternating layers, low carbon, high carbon, low carbon, high carbon, low carbon, high carbon, low carbon, high carbon, and the outer layers are low carbon. Now I will tie the bundles together with baling wire. I put one baling wire in the middle, another one on one end, a third one on the other end. Then I will put them in the vise, squeeze them tightly, make sure they're nice and even, and tie them securely together on the top. And even them all out, and then tie them together on the bottom. And this is our bundle all tied together, ready for the forge welding. Here's our prepared billet. It's consisting of 19 layers of alternating high carbon and low carbon steel with a low carbon steel on the outside, and is ready for the forge weld. Now I have to get a grip, which means I have to select the tongue what securely holds my billet. Now I'm getting ready to preheat the billet for the forge weld. I get it securely gripped in my tongs and stick it in to the fire and slowly preheat it. The first heat takes a little time. We want to heat it slow and evenly. Turn it around on occasion and first get it hot enough so it will be ready for the fluxing. It takes about, for the first heat from inserting to the fire to the first weld, takes about 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, now my billet is preheated enough for the fluxing, so I pull it out of the fire and generously apply flux. There are many different fluxes, commercially fluxes, welding fluxes. Most of them are basically made out of borax. I'm using plain old 20 mil team borax. It does as good as any of the expensive fluxes. Care should be taken to slowly heat the billet up. Make sure that all inner layers and outer layers are evenly heated. Occasionally we want to turn it around in the fire so that it heats from both sides and the flax can penetrate. We always insert it in the fire the upright way, so flax penetration is not only by capillary attraction, but we also have gravity on our side. Okay. You want to introduce yourself or want me to introduce you? Okay. This is my sidekick Marvin. His job is to supplying the blast. We're using an antique hand crank blower, which is probably a good 100 years old, but still working, and sometimes the old-fashioned tools work easier and more reliable than modern tools. On a hand crank blower we have far more control over the blast pressure than we would have using an electric blower. Now I will take the billet out of the fire, double check it. We start getting a nice and even heat. Just to be on the safe side I will reflux and then reinsert it in the fire for some additional heating till the iron is white. We want to weld at a white heat to make sure we get a good fusion, have no cold shuts or slag inclusions. Okay, now our billet is sufficiently preheated. Marvin, please pick up a little bit on the blast speed. Right on. I will turn it again to ensure to have a nice and even heat. What we're looking for is a white welding heat to ensure a good fusion. Okay, we are nice, right on white heat. Okay, now step a little bit back. Now I pull the billet out of the fire and prepare for the first heat. I weld about 1.5 inches at a time, and then go in the next weld I go back 1/2 inch and weld it over. Now I will reflux and start the same process over again. Again, I will turn the billet in the fire to ensure even heat and flax penetration. Okay, Marvin, pick up a little speed on the blast. We're slowly getting ready for our next weld. Again, I will turn the billet one more time so we get an even heat. We are almost ready for the next weld, and I will pull it out and do the next weld. Now I'm going to remove the excess wire. I don't need them no more. Flux it again. Always be generous on flux. You cannot overflux, but you can easily underflux. And cold shuts and slug inclusions can be very aggravating. Okay, let's bring it slowly up to heat. Now I'll take the billet out of the fire, double check it, make sure it's sufficiently fluxed. Just in case, I lightly flux it over one more time. Reinsert it to the fire. Always make sure that it's the fin side up, so that gravity is on your side for the flux penetration. Now Marvin, pick up a little bit speed on the blast. Okay, I'm getting ready for the next weld. Get a good grip. We are right on welding temperature, and I will weld it over. Now, we're almost done with the welding. I will just weld over one more time over the bar to ensure that everything is perfectly welded and on. Slightly reflux it and heat the very tip once more time for welding. Now I'll do the final weld. And since this bundle is big enough to make several knives out of it, we will start drawing it down and then go ahead and cut a piece off of it. I will reheat it, then we can start drawing it out. We'll take the billet out and start we have to reheat the billet, strike the iron while it's hot. Okay. Hang on a sec, Marvin. Let me clean the fire. You want to take this one? Yeah. Okay, well, we'll continue drawing the billet into a knife blade. Go. Okay, now our iron cooled down. We have to reheat it so we can strike the iron while it's hot. When I put the hammer like this, we all hear the old saying, strikes the iron while it's hot. There's a lot of truth to it. Don't work your iron too cold, especially on a laminated billet, you might injure your iron. Okay, now we'll continue drawing out our knife blade. Ready? And hit. Okay, and reheat. And now we will reheat the billet so we can start shaping the knife. A little bit more air, Marvin, please. Now I pull out the billet and start shaping it into a knife blade. The knife I envision is going to be a short utility knife, skinner type like knife, which we then will traditionally handle with a stack horn handle. Okay. The next step is start rasping the file into shape. Okay, close the vise. And I'm using a wood rasp or horseshoer's rasp. Getting there. Now I will do some work on the cutting edge, and once the cutting edge is all on, I cut the knife off and will forge the tang. Little harder blast. Okay, now I'll take it back out and get it into the vise for some more rasping. Okay, clamp her down good. As you see, the cutting edge is coming right out. Okay, now I'll take our blade and reinsert it in the fire for reheating. Okay, give me air, Marvin. Clamp her down good. Clamp, clamp. Okay. Now we're getting ready to cut the knife off the billet. In order to do so, we have to get it to a good heat so we can cut it off with ease. Again, we don't use any modern tool. We use old-fashioned cutting tools, hammer-driven. So you don't need a fancy shop, fancy fab shop to make a Damascus knife. You can make it like they did in the olden days, hand tools, fire, and a lot of sweat. Now we're cutting the billet off from the knife. A little bit more. Care should be taken that you don't cut in the face of your anvil. We'll just twist the end piece off. And save this for some later project. Here's our knife blade. The blade is pretty much formed. Now it comes time to forge on the tang. I personally prefer hidden tang knives, and I like to handle them traditionally, preferably in good wood, or even better, staghorn. Now let me start it by myself. Now I'm going to take the knife blade out and start forming the tang. I form the tang on the edge of the anvil. Time to reheat. Again, strike the iron while it's hot. Okay, I will continue forging out the tang. Okay, help me please. Hit. Okay, we're getting ready for our next heat. We're gonna reheat the tang area, and then it's a little bit long, so we cut it down and draw it out more. My trust is that Tristan gonna hold it while I'll do the cutting. Okay, go ahead, take it out. The idea is not having pieces fly away, but rather break them off so you can dispose of them. Even small pieces of Damascus, or better pattern-welded steel, will save. This piece here is good for making whatever, a bolster, a bracelet, or whatever you would like to make out of it. I like to make my billets a little bit bigger. It's about the same amount of work to make a big billet than a small one, and you have enough for 2 or 3 knives. And ready to do one more heat. This is a piece of staghorn, a crown piece, and I drilled a hole in it to insert the tang. Now probably my iron is hot enough, and I start sizing the tang so it will be fitting into our crown piece of staghorn. Hold it here, please. It's still a little bit long on the tang, but it's always easier to cut it back than to weld it back on. Now, I'll take another pair of tongs. Now we'll try to size our tang. It's a little bit big, so I have to draw it down some more. Give me heat, please. As I draw the tang thinner, it also becomes longer. And we'll try again. Right on. Okay, now we have a little bit of marking in the blade. Now we'll straighten out the blade and flatten it. And for this we will use a tool called a flatter. I will hold the flatter on the piece while my assistant Justin will do the striking with a sledgehammer. Traditionally, striking is the first thing an apprentice learns in a blacksmith shop. It's a very useful skill. It builds character and muscles. We're working here with a lot of elbow grease, especially Justin's elbow grease, but it's good for him. Okay, are you ready? Okay, now we'll put the flatter on and give it a good whack. Hit. This will take most of the hammer marks out of our blade. I like to leave a little bit of hammer marks in it. Okay, thank you. So the blade retains its handmade character. Now we'll make sure that everything's straight. Now I will quench the blade. And here's our blade blank. The next step we have to do is give it a slight etching so it shows the watering from the layering of the steel. In order to do the etching, I like to have a throwaway etching container. A 2-liter soda can is perfect. We just cut the top off, and then we have a perfect vessel for our etching solution. We use this for our etching solution. Okay, the next step is insert our blade into the etching compound. I found out that one of the best and most easily available is platinum etchant. You can buy it in any electronics store. The other etchants you can experiment if you want to do so. Okay, now we leave the blade in there for 3-4 hours. We'll check it continuously, make sure that the etching process is nice and even. Now I will insert the knife into the handle, and then we will set it in with pewter, and I use the masking tape to make a tinker's dam. Only masking tape works. Duct tape, electrical tape doesn't do the trick. Just the good old regular masking tape. Okay, here's our tinker's dam. The next step, I will put it in the vise to hold it. Put it nice and upright. And then I use my crucible to heat the pewter. Use pewter only, or if you can find pewter, a lead-free soft solder will do as well. Refrain from using lead or any lead-containing substance. Lead is slightly on the toxic side. Now we put the crucible in the fire. This is definitely a time where you want to wear your glasses. Splattering hot metal in your eye is painful and destructive. Okay, Marvin, give us a little bit of air here. Takes a few minutes to get the pewter nice and flowing. You don't want to overheat it. Put a bigger piece in, and if some pewter is still swimming in the already molten pewter, you know that you didn't overheat it. Okay, our pewter is melted. Now I'm getting ready to pour it in for our bolster. Okay, now I'm gonna go and cast the bolster in the tinker's dam I made out of pewter. Let it run a little bit over. Now I wait a few minutes for the pewter to cool down. And then I'll remove the tinker's dam. The blade is securely set in the horn with pewter. The pewter is nicely around, a little bit of file work, and the old set. And here we got our finished knife. It has a true look of a hand-forged knife, yet a closer look on the edge will reveal the fine bordering of the blade. Thank you for watching our educational movie. Please play it safe, protect yourself, protect your eyes, limbs, don't burn yourself. We just say no to burning. Have fun and make a bunch of nice knives.